History books have covered a lot about the past, but there is much more that was hidden from future generations. We're talking about the Wild West, an era where both legends and harsh realities define the American frontier. Rare and often banned photographs offering a rare glimpse into this iconic era showcase the infamous Wild Bunch, the resilient soul of Buffalo, and the lively, chaotic streets of Deadwood. These fascinating images capture the essence of a world full of dramatic contrasts and unforgettable characters. Welcome to a new video. Let's take a look at 12 rare photographs of the Wild West gang. If you like this type of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now let's get started. Number 12. Fort Worth Photo 5. The Fort Worth 5 photo taken in 1900 captures a striking image of the Wild Bunch, a group of 5 well-dressed outlaws whose eyes exude a captivating mix of confidence and defiance. This iconic snapshot features the infamous Butch Cassidy, the Sundance, Kid Ben, Kid Patrick, Kid Curry, and the Tall Texan, marking them as legendary figures of the Wild West. Captured at a photography studio in Fort Worth, Texas, the gang gathered for this portrait apparently innocent, not knowing that this moment would lead to his ultimate downfall. Once displayed in the photographer's window, the image caught the attention of a law enforcement officer who recognized the wanted criminals. This recognition led the Pinkerton Detective Agency to obtain and widely distribute copies of the photograph, making the Wild Bunch the most wanted men in the West. As their faces appeared on wanted posters, the photo ignited a media frenzy that elevated the Wild Bunch to household names and solidified their reputation as notorious outlaws. What began as a simple group portrait became a pivotal moment in their history and marks the beginning of their legendary status. Number 11. Buffalo Soldiers Heroes of the American West. In the late 19th century, a distinguished group of African American soldiers known as the Buffalo Soldiers served in the United States Army, earning immense respect from those who knew them. The name Buffalo Soldier was given by the Native Americans who encountered these troops on the frontier. The term first emerged in 1866, when Congress authorized the formation of 6 all-black regiments in the Army, which were later recognized as the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 24th and 24th. With the 25th Infantry, these regiments were charged with maintaining order on the western frontier, participating in battles against Native American tribes, and safeguarding settlers and travelers. Despite facing significant discrimination and challenges, Buffalo Soldiers quickly built a reputation for bravery, discipline, and skill, fighting valiantly in some of the most important conflicts of the time, including the Spanish-American War and the Philippine War. A photograph of a Buffalo Soldier standing tall and proud in uniform serves as a powerful symbol of the courage and determination exhibited by these notable men, highlighting their important contributions to American history. Number 10. Dancers of the Apache Spirit, Guardians of Tradition and Healing. In a captivating photograph from the late 19th century, a group of Apache Spirit dancers stand together in ceremonial costumes, their faces hidden under intricate headdresses and masks. This image offers a rare glimpse into the rich cultural heritage of the Apache people and highlights the essential role that spiritual dancers played in preserving their traditions. These dancers were not simply artists. They served as healers and storytellers, responsible for maintaining the spiritual well-being of their communities. Each dancer wore a unique costume, adorned with symbols and images that embodied various characters and spiritual forces. Through their movements and gestures, they told stories about the past, present, and future of the Apache people, and they also carried out healing rituals, harnessing the power of dance and song to dispel evil spirits and restore harmony. Despite the numerous challenges that the Apache people faced in the years that followed, the traditions of the spiritual dancers have endured today. Apache communities continue to honor these ancient rituals by passing on the wisdom and knowledge of their ancestors to new generations, ensuring that their cultural legacy remains vibrant and alive. Number 9. The Rufus Buck Gang, a notorious chapter in American history. In the last years of the 19th century, a surprising photograph began to circulate in the American West that showed a group of young people with harsh and defiant expressions. These were members of the Rufus Buck Gang, a notorious band of outlaws whose fate was brief but brutal. His reign of terror became the stuff of legends led by Rufus Buck, a young man of Indian and African American descent. The gang included 4 other members: Lewis Davis, Sam Sampson, Mayim Jolly, and Lucky Davis. Together, they blazed a trail of violence and destruction across the Oklahoma and Arkansas territories, robbing stores and ranches and ruthlessly eliminating anyone who found themselves opposed them. The gang's most infamous crime took place on July 30th, 1895, when they ambushed a group of deputy U.S. Marshals near McCoy, Oklahoma. In the chaotic gunfight that followed, the gang killed 2 law enforcement officers and wounded several others before escaping into the desert. The manhunt that followed was one of the largest in American history and enlisted hundreds of law enforcement officers and civilian volunteers in the chase. Eventually, Rufus Buck's gang was arrested and put on trial before the infamous hanging judge Isaac Parker. On July 1st, 1896, all 5 members of the gang were convicted and executed simultaneously from a single gallows, marking the end of one of the most notorious chapters in the history of the American West. Number 8. Main Street in Deadwood, the heart of the Black Hills Gold Rush. In 1877, Deadwood, South Dakota was in the heart of the Black Hills Gold Rush, and Main Street pulsed with vibrant energy. This bustling thoroughfare was the soul of the city, where miners, merchants, and adventurers from diverse backgrounds converged in search of fortune and excitement. A photograph from this era sums up the chaotic spirit of the time and depicts a bustling street filled with hastily constructed wooden buildings that served the rapidly growing population. Salons, hotels, shops, and offices. On the street, their facades painted in bright colors to attract the attention of passers-by. The air hummed with the sounds of music, laughter, and the clinking of glasses as customers filled the various establishments day and night. Yet beneath this lively surface was an undercurrent of danger and anarchy. Disputes often broke out. Resolved by gunshots, and justice was meted out by a quick draw. The atmosphere was one of survival of the fittest, where the strong prospered while the weak perished despite the harsh and turbulent nature of the city. Main Street was also a place of opportunity, a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds. People from around the world were drawn to the promise of the Black Hills in Deadwood, a dynamic center of ambition and adventure during one of the most exciting periods in history, U.S. Number 7. Olive Oatman, the woman with the blue tattoo. In a striking photograph from the mid-19th century, a woman with haunting eyes stares at the viewer with her chin adorned with a distinctive blue tattoo. This is Olive Oatman, whose life story stands out as one of the most tragic and compelling narratives of the American border. She was born in Illinois in 1837. Olive was just 14 years old when her family was ambushed by a group of Native Americans while traveling through Arizona. In the attack, her parents and 4 of her siblings were killed, and Olive and her younger sister, Marianne, were taken captive. The girls were eventually sold to the Mojave tribe, where they were forced into slavery. Tragically, Marianne succumbed to starvation just a year later, leaving Olive to navigate a strange and hostile world on her own. Despite the trauma he experienced, Olive adapted to life among the Mojave, even receiving a traditional tattoo on her chin that indicated her status within the tribe. After 5 long years of captivity, Olive Oatman was finally rescued and returned to the white society, with her extraordinary story capturing the imagination of many and shedding light on the complexities of life during a tumultuous period of American history. Number 6. Molly Johnson, the enterprising lady of Deadwood. In the rough-and-tumble world of late 19th century Deadwood, South Dakota, one woman emerged as a formidable presence. Molly Johnson, born in 1840. Molly arrived in Deadwood in 1876, coinciding with the height of the Black Gold Rush. Hills. She quickly established herself as a savvy businesswoman, harnessing her intelligence, beauty, and charm to create a thriving brothel in the heart of the bustling city. Molly is known as a poised, well-dressed woman who exudes confidence and sophistication. However, she was more than just a lady. Molly was a respected member of the community known for her fairness and generosity. She treated her daughters well by providing them with a safe and comfortable environment to work and live in, and she fiercely protected them, standing up to anyone who tried to take advantage. Despite the challenges of operating a business in a male-dominated society, Molly prospered. her establishment gaining a reputation for quality and discretion, attracting a clientele that included some of the city's most prominent figures. Molly was a master of her craft and deftly navigated Deadwood's complex social and political landscape. However, its success was not without obstacles. She faced constant scrutiny and criticism from those who disapproved of her profession and had to remain vigilant against those who sought to exploit her or her daughters. Molly Johnson's story is one of resilience and determination, showing a woman who made a place for herself in a tumultuous era. Number 5. Billy the Kid, a legend of the Wild West. Born William Henry McCarty Jr. in the slums of New York in 1859, Billy the Kid would become one of the most infamous outlaws of the Wild West. Orphaned at the age of 14, he headed west and quickly slid into a life of crime. A rare photograph of Billy the Kid taken in 1880 provides a glimpse into the brief but notorious life of this outlaw. Billy's first brush with the law occurred in 1875 when he was arrested for stealing clothes from a Chinese laundry in Arizona. After escaping from prison, he fled back to New Mexico, where he became involved with a group of cattle rustlers known as the Boys. It was during this time that Billy earned his reputation as a skilled gunslinger. In 1875, he participated in the infamous Lincoln County War, a bloody conflict between rival factions of ranchers and merchants fighting alongside one faction. Billy became known for his brutality and deadly marksmanship. However, it was a murder that would ultimately seal Billy's fate. In 1878, he shot and killed a man named Frank Wendy K. Hill during a dispute. From that point on, Billy became a wanted man with a bounty on his head, which only grew over the years. Despite his young age, he proved to be a formidable outlaw, known for his daring escapes and his ability to evade capture, even when surrounded by lawman brakes. He boasted of having killed 21 men, although the actual number was probably much lower. Billy's luck finally ran out in 1881 when he was captured by Sheriff Pat Garrett and sentenced to hang for the murder of a Lincoln County sheriff, although he escaped from prison, Garrett catching up with him again a few months later in a final shootout, where Garrett killed Billy, ending the young criminal's short but infamous career. Number 4. Davy Crockett, the King of the Wild Frontier. Davy Crockett, the legendary frontier soldier and politician, personifies the spirit of the American Wild West. Born as David Stern Crockett in 1786, he emerged as an iconic figure of the American frontier. His early years were marked by hardship and adventure in the rugged wilderness. From East Tennessee, from a young age, Crockett showed a natural talent for hunting and an intrepid spirit that would serve him well throughout his life. He served in the Creek War of 1813, where he earned a reputation as a skilled scout and fighter. He later parlayed his military experience into a successful political career, serving in the Tennessee State Legislature and the United States House of Representatives. However, it was Crockett's exploits as a hunter that truly solidified his place in American folklore. He was known everywhere as the King of the Wild Frontier. He earned this title through incredible feats of skill and bravery, including claiming to have killed 105 bears in a single season, a story that only contributed to his growing legend. Crockett's life took a pivotal turn in 1835 when he joined the Texas Revolution, a conflict between American settlers and the Mexican government, and he and a small group of volunteers headed to the Alamo, a fortified mission in San Antonio, where they faced a much larger Mexican army. Despite being vastly outnumbered, Crockett and his fellow defenders held out for 13 days, fighting bravely to the last man when the Alamo finally fell on March 6, 1836. Crockett was one of the last to die. His body, surrounded by the corpses of enemy soldiers who had killed their legacy, is a symbol of bravery and resistance that endures, capturing the imagination of generations. Number 3. Wild Bill Hickok, the legendary gunslinger. James Butler Hickok, better known as Wild Bill, stands as one of the most famous gunfighters of the American Wild West. This photograph of Wild Bill, taken in the 1860s, immortalizes the legendary icon born in Illinois in 1837. Hickok began his career as a farmer and teamster before embracing a life full of adventure and danger on the frontier. His reputation as a skilled marksman and fearless fighter began to grow during the Civil War, where he served as a scout and spy for the Union Army. After the war, he ventured west in various roles as a stagecoach driver, lawyer, and gambler. It was during this time that Hickok earned his fame, the nickname Wild Bill, known for his speed, accurate aim, and a larger-than-life personality filled with tall tales. He claimed to have killed more than 100 men in gunfights, although the actual number was probably much lower. One of Hickok's most notable encounters took place in 1865 when he faced a player named Davis Tutt. In a quick duel on the streets of Springfield, Missouri, Hickok emerged victorious, solidifying his reputation as one of the deadliest gunslingers in the West, despite his fame. Hickok's life was marked by tragedy and violence. He struggled with alcoholism and gambling addiction, and his temper often got him into trouble. In 1876, he was shot to death during a poker game in Deadwood, South Dakota, by a man named Jack McCall, marking a dramatic end to the life of one of the most iconic figures of the Wild West. Number 2. The Beaumont Hotel, a beacon of civilization. In the Wild West, in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the town of Colorado was a wild and untamed frontier outpost located in the heart of the San Juan Mountains. Amidst the chaos and anarchy of the Wild West, one building stood out as a beacon of civilization and refinement. The Beaumont Hotel, built between 1886 and 1887, was a large, imposing three-story brick structure distinguished by its striking corner tower and elaborate Victorian details. This image captures the hotel's magnificent facade, showcasing its distinctive Victorian architecture and elegant adornments. Beaumont offered a showcase of luxury and comfort with 48 rooms equipped with modern conveniences of the time, including hot and cold running water, steam heating, and even electric lighting, a rarity in frontier towns. In addition to its comfortable rooms, the hotel boasted with a large dining room and billiard room, as well as a drawing room, all adorned in the finest Victorian style. However, the Beaumont was more than just a place to stay. It served as a social center and gathering place for the city's elite, playing a central role in the cultural and intellectual lives of guests who were able to attend lectures, concerts, and theatrical performances in the hotel's grand ballroom, or simply relax and socialize in its elegant lounges. The Beaumont Hotel represented an oasis of sophistication in a rugged landscape, leaving an indelible mark on the region's history. Number 1. Doc Holliday, the dentist, turned into gunslinger. A seemingly ordinary photograph from the 1870s showing a gaunt, sunken-cheeked man with piercing eyes and a thin mustache. This is John Henry, Doc Holliday, one of the most enigmatic figures of the American West, born in Georgia in 1851. Holliday initially pursued a career as a dentist who earned his degree from the Pennsylvania College of Dental Surgery. However, his life turned a dramatic turnaround when he was diagnosed with tuberculosis in his early 20s. Seeking a drier climate to alleviate his symptoms, he ventured west and eventually settled in Dallas, Texas. While on vacation in Texas, he discovered a new talent for game, and he quickly gained a reputation as a skilled card player and deadly marksman. It was here that he met Wyatt, the lawman who would become his closest friend and ally. Together, they navigated the treacherous world of the American frontier from the gambling halls of Dodge City to the dusty streets of Tombstone. The most famous moment of Arizona's vacation came during the shootout, where he fought alongside his brothers against a gang of outlaws. Despite their failure, they proved to be a formidable opponent who displayed the quick reflexes and steady nerves that had made him a legend in his time. Their story remains a captivating blend of courage, camaraderie, and the harsh realities of life in the Wild West. We come to the end of this video. Tell us your opinion in the comments box. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss future videos like this one. See you next time.